What is something that you want people to know about Cyprus?
Cyprus has the last divided capital in the world.
The problem is much more complicated than it actually seems. My name is Orestis, I am 22 years old and I'm a Greek Cypriot. I also study medicine in the European University of Cyprus.
My name is Suda. I'm from North Cyprus. I'm Turkish Cypriot actually. I'm 22 years old and I'm studying medical sciences and political sciences. We don't have any H&M, McDonald's, Bershka or any known brands, any international brands here because we're just basically the occupation regime.
I don't have any friends from the other side, but it's not something that came to be because I didn't want any. It's just I haven't crossed that many times on the other side. I don't like the fact that I have to show my ID, but it's not gonna keep me from going there.
Welkom op Cyprus. Perfect gelegen op het kruispunt tussen Noord-Afrika, Europa en het Midden-Oosten. Door de eeuwen heen streden rijk na rijk om de verovering van dit land. Vandaag is het een republiek waar 4 machten naast elkaar regeren. De Republiek Cyprus, het bezette gebied van de Turkse Republiek Noord-Cyprus, 2 militaire bases in handen van het Verenigd Koninkrijk en tenslotte een gebied dat sinds 1974 in handen is van de Verenigde Naties.
My maternal grandmother is from Paphos. She has forced to come to Nicosia in the 1974 events, so that was a bit traumatic.
I've heard lots and lots of times the stories of my mother having to wake up one day because there were planes and tanks rolling in and the panic in the village and how they had to leave everything behind, basically jump on a fully packed bus and leave. They were basically homeless for some time, living in tents, like no house, no money, nothing. Everything was lost during the war.
This is the lost generation. In my mother's era, they have no contact with the Greek-speaking Cypriots because of that ceasefire line, because of that border, so they could not pass from side to side.
Ooit waren Griek-Cyprioten en Turk-Cyprioten geen vijanden. Tijdens het Ottomaanse Rijk, dat begon in 1571, leefden de Griekse meerderheid en de nieuw gevestigde Turkse minderheid in relatieve harmonie. Pas na 1878, toen het Britse Rijk de controle over het eiland overnam, werden de concurrerende imperialistische belangen aangewakkerd. Een conflict kwam dichterbij.
In my grandparents' era, they always used to live in mixed villages. So, both of my grandparents are bilingual. They both speak Turkish and Greek.
My mother never told me anything bad about the Turkish Cypriots that she was living with. She told me that they were living totally in harmony, peacefully. Also, most of them just spoke Greek, so there wasn't much of a division even then.
Tegen het einde van het Britse bewind hadden zowel de Griekse als de Turkse gemeenschappen plannen voor het eiland. De Grieken wilden deel uitmaken van het vasteland van Griekenland, terwijl de Turkse Cyprioten het eiland in 2 wilden splitsen.
At this point, the British Empire decided to give everyone exactly what they didn't ask for, which was independence.
In 1960 werd de Republiek Cyprus onafhankelijk, maar dat proces verliep verre van vreedzaam. Samen met Turkije en Griekenland kwam Groot-Brittannië tot een regeling. Cyprus zou onafhankelijk kunnen worden, terwijl het Verenigd Koninkrijk soevereine militaire bases in het land zou behouden. De nieuwe republiek zou een Griekse president en een Turkse vicepresident hebben. De grondwet gaf Groot-Brittannië, Griekenland en Turkije het recht om gewapende troepen op het eiland te houden. Maar die regeling duurde niet lang. In 1963 braken rellen uit door de nationalistische Griek-Cyprioten. Ze waren ontevreden met een grondwet waar ze geen stem in hadden gehad. Het geweld dwong Turkse Cyprioten om zich te verzamelen in verschillende enclaves op het eiland. De spanningen werden in toom gehouden, in ieder geval tot 1974, toen een staatsgreep geleid door Griek-Cyprioten en het militaire junta de regering omverwierp. Turkije greep militair in. Het escaleerde in een burgeroorlog tussen de twee gemeenschappen. Turkije nam de controle over Noord-Cyprus over, wat 160.000 Griek-Cyprioten deed vluchten en ontsnappen. Kort daarna riep Turkije de Turkse Republiek Noord-Cyprus uit. Een land dat nog steeds alleen door Turkije wordt herkend en door de internationale gemeenschap wordt beschouwd als een illegale bezetting.
I don't have the citizenship of Turkey, I don't have the citizenship of Cyprus, I just only have the citizenship of TRNC, which is not a recognized country. So I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I'm lost, actually. It says TRNC here. It's what I need to show at Turkish side to pass to the buffer zone.
Sude heeft het over de Groene Lijn. Dat is een grens van 180 kilometer die Cyprus en de hoofdstad Nicosia in tweeën verdeelt. Het is geen feitelijke grens, maar een gedemilitariseerde bufferzone die wordt bewaakt door VN-vredesmachten. Deze lijn werd door de Verenigde Naties in 1974 haastig getekend om het geweld tussen de Griek-Cyprioten en de Turk-Cyprioten te stoppen. Oversteken is nog steeds verboden voor beide gemeenschappen.
I can easily cross the checkpoints to Republic of Cyprus, but since I only have TRNC identity and passport, I can go abroad. I can get Turkish identity and Turkish passport, but I don't want to get the Turkish identity or Turkish passport because I don't feel like I belong in Turkey. I have never been to Turkey in my whole life, so why am I forced to get the citizenship of a country where, like, I didn't even live? I need to cross the border to have a coffee from Starbucks or to shop from H&M. Like, this is normal for us, but I don't think that this should be the normal. So I want Republic of Cyprus identity, yeah.
Lots of people don't want to cross because they don't want to legitimize any occupation. Understandable, but I still believe you better cross because if you abandon it, then it's done forever. My family goes at least once, twice per year. They go to my mother's village, they see her home, and I've also started recently to go, and because I feel like if you abandon your heritage, you just let it be someone else's. But if you go there, you're still claiming it.
My grandmother, as I said before, was from Paphos, and she was moved in 1974, and 40 years later, it was her first time to see her own village, the village that she was born.
In 2024 is de Republiek Cyprus 20 jaar lid van de Europese Unie.
Personally, I would identify as a Greek Cypriot, but that wouldn't necessarily mean that I feel as a Greek from Greece. I'm still a Greek, but from a different place.
I feel like a Cypriot, I am a Cypriot, I am a European, and being a European and feeling like living in a European Union country is a different thing in my own opinion. All Turkish Cypriots feel like Europeans, but because of the occupation here in the North Cyprus, we are not actually living in a country of European Union.
Tegenwoordig zijn het niet de etnische verschillen die het eiland verdeeld houden, maar wel de concurrerende belangen van buitenlandse regeringen.
There's this flag on the Pedalaktilos mountain range, and it's both the Turkish flag and the flag of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, and below there's a motto saying something along the lines of how proud is one to be called a Turk. And you can basically see that from any tall building in Nicosia. I can see it from my own apartment balcony. It's provocative, definitely, and kind of insulting, but what can we do about it? Even as a member of the European Union, I feel like the Cyprus problem reveals hypocrisy that lots of countries, not lots of countries, every country is taking part in, because as a small country, as a country that's supposed to be like part of the European family, we can still see that there's a problem that remains unsolved. And also, Turkey is a candidate for the European Union while still occupying a part of Cyprus. Like, that doesn't seem fair.
Turk-Cyprioten zijn nu ook in Noord-Cyprus een minderheid geworden. Er is geen officiële volkstelling, maar naar schatting zijn de inheemse Cyprioten vandaag met minder dan de helft van de Turkse burgers.
Turkish-speaking Cypriots are in a danger right now. There are lots of illegal settlers coming from Turkey and they're just assimilating us. We're about to lose our culture, we're about to lose our tradition.
Ongeacht etnische achtergrond is de toekomst onzeker aan beide kanten van de groene lijn.
We can't take peace for granted all the time. We don't know what the next 10 years will have in store for us. I think the Cyprus problem is playing a very important role in any young person's decision to stay or leave the country, because it's definitely a safety problem for all of us.
I can leave if I obtain the Turkish passport, but I really don't want to leave Cyprus because I love Cyprus. This is my country, this is where I belong. So I just need to stay here and fight for our independence, but I don't feel like I can live under the occupation regime anymore because day by day, it's getting really hard to live under the embargoes here, so I just want to live in the Republic of Cyprus.
My dream for my country would be to finally achieve a solution, have the occupational armies leave the country, have independence for both communities, and have a strong direction towards democracy and freedom, prosperity, like the European Union.
Since when I was a child, I always wanted a united Cyprus. I want the reunification of my own island.